Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. Before I get started, I just want to show you where I am because it's so beautiful. So I'm by the seaside and I've wanted to film here all week, but I'll just show you. They're working on the cliff up there, and do you see those gadgets? They make a lot of noise during the week, so it's Sunday and I finally get to film. And guys, I apologize if the sound isn't ideal. I filmed in the other cove last week and you could still hear me, it wasn't a problem. But here as well, we've got the train track. So I may have bitten off a bit more than I can chew here, so please excuse the sound if it's not ideal. But I did want to have one video where I film here because I love this place so much. I think it's so beautiful. So, okay, this is your weekly horoscope for Monday, the 29th of April, going through until Sunday, the 5th of May, 2024. And I'm going to go through each day of the week to give you an idea of what the planets are doing and how they're going to influence you. And then I'll also go through each sign of the zodiac from Aries to Pisces to give you a specific message for your sign. Now, I've been doing these weekly horoscopes for a while, and I have to say, I haven't seen a brilliant week like this in a long, long time. It looks absolutely amazing. I think this is one of the best weeks ever. I've put here Brain Box Week because I feel that these amazing things are going to occur to you. You're going to have these amazing flashes of insight. And things that may have been problems or things that you haven't been able to figure out for years suddenly will totally make sense. The light bulb goes on, eureka. And this week, it's the end of confusion and it's understanding that allows you to make changes in your life that really genuinely improve it and in earnest. So I'm trying to express that things that you've spent a lot of time figuring out suddenly and very clearly make total sense, and you're able to leave behind those areas of inactivity or confusion or not knowing exactly where you're at. So it's all systems go here this week. So starting on Monday, the 29th of April, we have Venus, the planet of love and beauty and the female principle. That enters the sign that it rules, Taurus, at 12:31 in the afternoon. And I'm based in the UK now, so it's based on UK time. Venus loves being in Taurus. It rules Libra and Taurus. And in Taurus, it's in an earth sign that's really able to take charge of the environment on a practical level. I always associate Venus and Taurus with the Queen of Pentacles, a woman who makes every situation more beautiful and makes it feel warmer simply by showing up and being present and using her creative skills and talents to take any kind of situation and to turn it from a thing into something that creates an emotional response. So the difference between a house and a home, that's what Venus in Taurus is able to do. So that really sets the stage here. And Mars, the male principle, so the partner of Venus in a way, that's in Pisces on Monday. It moves into Aries on Tuesday, but here on Monday, it's still in the last sign of the zodiac. And I feel that Mars in Pisces is somewhat tempered. It's not all about making things happen and getting things done. It's about taking time to smell the roses. So you may find that on Monday you're feeling very, almost like you're floating a few feet off the air because it is so ethereal and harmonious and romantic, and all of those intimate kind of feelings will be floating around. And then Mars also conjuncts Neptune, the outer planet of dreams and intuition. I often think of Neptune as a web that connects all of us here on planet Earth, sort of like the collective unconscious. And I really connect Neptune not just with dreams and your gut feelings, but also this intangible quality that connects all of us. And that's in the sign that it rules, Pisces, so that's also very happy. And then at the same time, we have the moon, the way you feel, in the earth sign of Capricorn. And that's very diligent. It's got both feet firmly planted on the ground, and it says, if I use my strength and energy to work towards something, I'm going to create the effect that I want. So what can I work towards? So it makes you very motivated, very structured in your approach. It squares Mercury, the communication planet, which is now direct. So Mercury was retrograde for most of April, and it's gone direct on the 25th. So expect far fewer problems when it comes to communication and transportation from now on. And the Capricorn moon also squares Chiron in Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer in astrology. And the approach here via these three is, what can I do Not necessarily to heal myself, I think that's a bit of an overstatement, but how can I take action that's going to make me feel better? And how can I take action that makes me feel more comfortable in my life? How can I improve things for myself? And the moon then also sextiles Saturn in Pisces, and that's a wonderful sense of I'm being supported on a spiritual level. Things are okay. If I listen to my gut, everything's going to be fine. You know, that sense of I am, what's the word? Reassured. Something here is very reassuring, and the whole day to me feels very warm and gentle. And then finally, we've got more connections. We've got the Capricorn moon forming a square with Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. So those two, again, outer planets, Uranus is going to make you feel like anything is possible. And if I take action based on my feelings, I know I'm going to get a good outcome via Jupiter and Taurus. So the whole thing, your approach is so positive here that it's very unlikely that you create any difficulties because of your approach. It's so warm and loving. So I think Monday you're going to experience this day as a solid, positive start to the week. You may be feeling the joys of spring, and whether you're in the northern hemisphere or in the southern hemisphere, astrology is based on the seasons, but it doesn't matter what your actual location is on the planet. This is an energy we can all tap into regardless of the weather. So on Monday, any big ideas that occur to you, they may not be impractical. They may feel very unusual and unfamiliar because you may notice yourself dreaming really big. But any flashes of brilliance that do occur to you on Monday, don't dismiss them out of hand. Even though something may seem a little excessive or extravagant, doesn't mean that it's not practical and not doable. So be open-minded to your own ideas, if that's a way of saying that. So anything work-related, also with the moon in Capricorn, becomes a lot more streamlined. So you'll notice that you get a lot more done in a shorter period of time than usual, and you don't have to make as much of an effort. So you're operating perfectly on a lot of different levels here on Monday. Then on Tuesday, the 30th of April, we have the moon still in Capricorn. So what can I do using my kind of muscle? It trines Jupiter in Taurus, and it sextiles Mars and Neptune in Pisces. And to me, this is really practicality linked with imagination, the dream, and warmth. The moon then goes into Aquarius at 4:20 in the afternoon. And I think I've mentioned that I'm in the UK, that this is based on my time zone. And when the moon goes into Aquarius, it's not so much about work in Capricorn. It's about new ideas, and that's what I feel I can actually tap into and access. So on Tuesday, this is where these flashes of insight really now start to come in earnest. And Mars enters Aries at 4:33 in the afternoon. So Mars is now in the sign that it rules, Aries, first sign of the zodiac. And the archetype I always associate with this placement is the soldier, in the sense of physical strength and focus and resilience, all of those things. So your focus on Tuesday is on new ideas, but you also have this laser beam on what it is you're moving towards. So there's very little potential for you to be distracted on Tuesday. The Aquarius moon also conjuncts Pluto in Aquarius, so it's this rebirth of ideas, and it's thinking outside of the box. It's even thinking outside of the normal way you usually think. So let yourself be surprised by the things that naturally occur to you this week. It's going to be really interesting. And it squares Venus and Taurus, and that's this wonderful bridge between the brilliant ideas and then immediately being able to translate them into practical action, and you'll know what you need to do to make this a real thing, which is priceless. If I have wonderful ideas but I don't do anything about it, if I am really working hard but there aren't any exceptional ideas behind it, then it's also not great. But we have a combination here, almost genius, with real creativity and practicality. So if you are someone who works with the intellect, or you work creatively, or you're a scientist or an educator, you'll find these first 2 days of the week really satisfying and easy. Venus in Taurus forms a direct relationship with Pluto in Aquarius. They square. So it's a similar thing. As I have these creative notions, and I also have the ideas to back them up. So on Tuesday, the ability to work well and quickly, that continues, but it's improved even more by the influences of Mars and Neptune, creating a sense of real peace and harmony. You'll find it easy to avoid unnecessary conflict, and instead you'll notice that you have a lot of compassion and ability to kind of put yourself in someone else's shoes, so you'll be able to talk through most things. So Tuesday is also great for reconciliation or connecting with people who you may have lost touch with or even fallen out with. If you have a desire to reconnect and to fix it, Tuesday is a wonderful day to do that. Moving on to Wednesday, the 1st of May, and happy Beltane if you celebrate. And here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's the beginning of summer. So it's this beginning of the association with summer in a symbolic way is that life becomes easier and you can pluck the apples from the tree and you don't have to work as hard. So on an astrological sense, this is now a period where all of those things that we do during the summer are supported. So connecting with people outside, going on trips, exploration, finding that you don't have to work as hard. We'll start to tap into that as we go here. Venus is in Taurus still, and it squares Pluto in Aquarius, same way as it did the day before on Tuesday. The Aquarius moon then squares the Sun and Uranus in Taurus. So the Sun is what we're striving towards, and on a conscious level, what we identify with. So the Sun in Taurus, it wants you to take charge of your circumstances and to tailor things that are going on around you so that you are comfortable. And the amazing thing about Taurus is that it takes control of things. So it doesn't respond to the environment, it creates the environment. So that will immediately give you a wonderful sense of certainty, control, and ability to adapt really anything. And that's so wonderful because the sky's the limit here on an emotional level. Uranus, again, anything is possible in a practical sense. And then the Aquarius moon squares Mercury. No, it sextiles Mercury and Chiron in Aries. So what am I focused on? How can it improve my life and how can I continue to move towards that and make it bigger in my life? So Wednesday is a fabulous combination of the imagination and practicality. If there's some sort of a new venture that you've wanted to explore and to get started, this is the day to do it. Number-wise, the first day of the month is a good day to start things, but here even more so, any ideas that stem from within, taking action based around those is going to ensure that they grow. For instance, days like this, if you're starting a new business, if you start a business on the 1st of May, then the business will have a chart, an astrological chart. And the energy of that chart is going to influence that business moving ahead. It's static, the way your birth chart is static and fixed. So if you want to start a new business and make sure it has a really good birth chart, Wednesday the 1st of May is a brilliant time to get it done or to get it registered or to make it official, right? I'm still using my laptop, so I'm sorry if I'm like glancing all over the place today. Also, on Wednesday, if you've made up your mind about something, stick to it. You're unlikely to get things wrong. So if someone is trying to argue you out of something, or if you have this sense of this feels good or it doesn't feel good, really go with that. You're likely to receive really accurate messages from within. Okay. Thursday, the 2nd of May, we have the Aquarius moon forming a square with Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus. So again, ideas that I can implement in a positive way. And then Pluto goes retrograde until the 11th of October. So the retrogrades are really important as they relate to the personal planets, Mercury, Mars, and Venus. We really feel those. But with the outer planets, astrologers don't pay as much attention to those retrogrades because they all last for about half a year. But the way I look at the retrogrades of the outer planets is that rather than finding the influence of that planet in your outside environment, you start to notice it from within. And Pluto is the phoenix being reborn from a pile of ash and becoming a firebird. And with it being in Aquarius, that's why this whole new era until 2043 is going to be so interesting in terms of inventions and new things being discovered, because all the scientists of the world, all the visionaries are now going to really benefit from that, and we'll notice a lot of new things coming into the world. And with it being retrograde, those ideas, the rebirth vibe of Pluto, it sits within. So watch out over the next 6 months. There are going to be so many new inventions and discoveries. I even read in the news last week that there's a flying car now. So things like that specifically. Technology advancing and improving. And improvements and discoveries to the point where they change our everyday lives. So I'm really interested in what happens during this retrograde until the 11th of October. And on Thursday the 2nd, the moon goes into Pisces at 7:52 in the evening. So again, the moon in Pisces is very gentle, loving, forgiving. It looks at the bigger picture. And the Pisces moon then sextiles Venus and Taurus. Healers, creative people, intuitives, that work is supported all week, as well as the academics and the visionaries. And I was going to say revolutionaries because Aquarius is a sign that's able to come up with something that's never been seen before. Something that doesn't exist. I was watching the biography of Hedy Lamarr yesterday. And this was an actress who came up with the system that is responsible for Wi-Fi these days. It's used in Wi-Fi connections. And it's that kind of thing. One person's idea affects 8 billion people on the planet. And those people, I mean, I'm not one of them, but I don't think they sit there and say, who am I to invent this great thing? They just say, I have this idea and I'm going to make it work, and that's the end of it. And then boom. So you have that straightforward practicality here, which is amazing. So Thursday, it is for the communicators of the world, the educators, the intellectuals, the scientists. So if you are not happy with democracy and you think we should move on to the next political system, please write out your ideas, because that's the kind of thing that's also now going to come through. If you have to give a speech or make any type of presentation, try and plan it for Thursday the 2nd. You'll be operating at 100% capacity. The ideas are coming from within. And once the moon goes into Pisces, at the same time we have this sweet atmosphere of love and romance, compassion, intimacy, being gentle and empathetic when it comes to other people. And it's way over the top. The thing that struck me is, I don't know, and I'm sorry if it's a silly example, but you know the Little Mermaid, the Disney film? There's this scene where Ariel tries to get Eric to kiss her so that she doesn't turn back into a mermaid. And Sebastian, the little crab, they go out on the lake, and there are these weeping willows, and it's all way over the top, and probably fireflies. I don't remember if they're in the film. But Sebastian, the little crab, he starts crooning and creating this wonderfully romantic atmosphere that is way OTT in order to get them to kiss, right? And that's what I feel this is, that it's so harmonious. If you're someone who's single and you would like to meet a partner, then this is a week where naturally people who are on the same page as you, people who would be compatible, will be attracted to you, so it's even good for that. On Friday the 3rd of May, we've got Mars in Aries, forming a sextile with Pluto in Aquarius. So this is now more urgent in the sense of, I do have a brilliant idea, I'm not going to question it, I'm just going to make it happen instantly. The Pisces moon conjunct Saturn in Pisces, and it sextiles the Sun in Taurus. So this is the universe holding you by the hand and saying, don't you worry, this is a good idea, I know you're trying to get things done, and on top of that, I'm going to support you as well by giving you a sense of well-being, like you're being spiritually guided and supported, and I am encouraging you to move forward. So Friday gives you decisiveness, total clarity, and a sense of being taken care of. You're likely to get things right. If you are in the middle of something though, and again, someone tries to convince you that you're not correct, you may find it a little tedious to explain yourself. So don't force yourself to educate someone else on what you're doing if that takes the time away from what you're actually doing, if you see what I mean. It's better to get on with it this week than to spend a lot of time getting someone else on board. Either they get it or they don't get it this week. So instead, be patient, capture your brilliant insights, It really is a time of the new and undiscovered to come to light, and it's people's ingenuity that's really heightened, and that's why we're going to have all of these amazing new things come in. It's really exciting. Saturday the 4th of May, we have the Pisces moon forming a conjunction with Neptune in Pisces, and it sextiles Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus. So we've got water and earth, both feminine elements. I'm receiving the good emotionally. I'm getting these wonderful ideas that I then immediately know how to implement. And the moon goes into Aries at 9:41 in the evening. So with the moon now shifting from the last sign of the zodiac to the first sign of the zodiac, it's even more about taking action and speeding things up. So as we're going through the week, the pace gets quicker and quicker and quicker. The Aries moon then conjuncts Mars in Aries, and it sextiles Pluto in Aquarius. Just waiting for the train again. So the amazing thing about that is that you're not going to doubt yourself, you're not going to question yourself. It's something like I said with that example of the scientist, you know, who am I to think this up? There's none of that. This is wonderful, I believe in it, so therefore I'm going to make it happen. It's super straightforward. So if you struggle with self-doubt or self-criticism, this is a week where you can really leave that behind. It's not going to affect you as badly. And I'm not saying that it's done forever. It's just that this week really minimizes the tendency to doubt yourself. Okay. So Saturday is similar to Thursday in the sense that you have all this intellectual, amazing, outside of the box thinking capacity. And you also have the sense of sweet calm at the same time. It's a good day to take care of yourself through exercise, exploration, and simply doing things that you enjoy. In the evening, you may have a sense of restlessness and sudden urgency once the moon does shift into Aries, but hang on to that till Sunday morning and get going then, rather than staying up all night on Saturday. I think there's a potential for that. I put that down here for some reason. Yeah, I think you'll really be fired up on around Saturday afternoon, evening. But on Sunday the 5th, the Aries moon conjuncts Mercury and Chiron in Aries, and that's it. There are no other big transits. So all it is fire, 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 Aries, communication, self-healing, and moving ahead. So you will tap into your own sense of how far have I traveled this week, and how far will I travel on Sunday? How much progress am I making? What did I discover on my own? So Sunday is wonderful in the sense that everything seems so straightforward and simple. So if you found that there are certain things about yourself or your relationship or your work or your life that you don't feel like you have total insight, look at those things particularly on Sunday. The way I'm seeing this is, if you're in years of therapy, right, to try and understand some sort of problematic characteristic about yourself, that can work and it can help you figure it out with the help of another person. But there are also moments in life where suddenly it's like, oh my God, that's why I do this. And you make more progress in that 3-second period than you do in years of therapy at times. And that's what the potential is here on Sunday. You may find that this week you don't just make kind of brilliant intellectual, scientific discoveries. You may also resolve these inner conflicts, so an academic within, right, that makes you feel like life now is a lot simpler based on what I've understood. It's a miraculous time of figuring things out, and the delays that are usually brought about by confusion and self-doubt are not present at all. So that's what I get for you this week in terms of every day. I'm going to go through each sign of the zodiac, and I'm just thinking whether I should move. I think I'm going to put the ocean behind me for a second while I do this second bit. That'll also help me with the timestamps, because I can just look. Oh, isn't this nice? I'm so happy to be here. You have no idea. Okay, Aries. Your brilliant ideas this week, and let me just pull you closer so that you can hear me. Your brilliant ideas extend into both the realms of spirituality and your finances. If you're looking into some sort of greater meaning or acquiring some sort of greater spiritual insight, or you're trying to figure out the meaning of your own life, I know that's a big statement, or you're simply looking at changing your finances around, even though the two seem totally unrelated, you'll see straight through to the solution. and how to get there. So it's great for all the agnostic Aries out there who want to know more or have a greater understanding of their own spirituality, their own being. And also, very simply, on the flip side, any Aries who wants to improve their credit score, look into that. You'll be able to operate in both, even though they seem very unrelated. Taurus, happy birthday to you guys. This is your time of the year. This week, life is going to make a lot of sense to you. And you have the ability to implement your ideas and take wonderfully simple, straightforward, and successful action. Expect a lot of energy this week and the discovery of what's important to you in the most profoundest sense of the word. So what gives your life meaning? What do you get up for in the morning? If you don't have one of those things, you'll be able to find one. And I know, again, that's a big statement, and you may think, Greg, you're exaggerating here, but this is an exceptional week. I hope I've got that point across. Gemini, you may find yourself being a little overstimulated this week, to say the least. And you may find it really difficult to focus on tasks that you find mundane, uninteresting, boring. Anything like that, it's going to be a bit of an arduous process for you. You're so full of ideas this week that it may benefit you to take notes, because the muses are really whispering in your ear this week, Gemini. So as long as you kind of jot things down and keep a record, you can work for the next 6 months on implementing the ideas that occur to you this week, and you're not going to run out of material. So what I'm saying is you're going to have so many fabulous ideas occur to you that making those real, implementing them, is going to take you the next 6 months, and you'll have even more to implement after those 6 months. So Gemini, with the Pluto Aquarius retrograde happening this week, that also is going to ensure that the next 6 months for you are really, I would say, one of the most prolific times in recent years when it comes to your ideas and the new unique content that you're able to express and create. Cancer, you're likely to have a feeling of great confidence this week. Even if you're a natural introvert, you may be surprised by how comfortable you are this week when you're in the limelight, or how much even you enjoy being in a position of leadership. Excuse me. Try different ways of operating. So be willing to act differently or to behave differently if it occurs to you. And you'll discover qualities within yourself that you may not even have been aware of in the past. So you are able to discover a really wonderful characteristic within and be absolutely certain that this is, wow, this is something I've got. You know, it's one thing to say I'm a kind person, but it's another thing to say to believe it. And that's what I mean. You're able to discover something really wonderful about yourself and believe it. And that's going to make it easier in those realms of self-love, self-care. If I have all of these great things within that I'm proud of course it's going to be easier for me to love myself, right? Leo, if you're self-employed, if you're looking for work, or if you're waiting for approval on a particular project, so you're waiting for planning permission, or you're waiting for the contract to be signed and sent back, expect amazing news this week. The solidity of Taurus ensures that you find a new place to land, especially if you've been at a loose end for a while, and it takes the pressure off you. The search is over. You get to breathe. So go on a mission, look for what's missing, and you're very likely to find what it is you want. Virgo, you may find yourself being a little overly confident this week and prone to make small mistakes because your enthusiasm and desire is so great that you're likely to move on to the next task before you've completely finished the one that's being worked on right now. So as a lot of Virgos really love learning and absorbing a lot of information, but this week there may be so much to study and read and listen to, and there may be so many ideas that occur to you that it could feel like your head is spinning a little bit. And that you're just picking up little snippets rather than getting the big picture, right? So Virgo, make sure that you devote yourself to one thing at a time, one thing after the other. Take it slowly, and enjoy the sense of enthusiasm that you'll have all week. Libra, you may have a strange sense of urgency which prompts you to nail something down in your life, to secure it. And the irony is that it doesn't really need any securing. So for instance, if you're in a relationship that's going great, Libra, there may be a sense that, oh, I have to make this formal immediately. I don't want to lose out on this person. So there's a tendency to jump the gun here this week for you. So watch out particularly for any kind of actions like that are based on fear, a sense of possible loss, and a desire to control. Hold off on those things because there's no need, you see, and you may even mess the situation up by giving into that fear or that need to control. So nothing is likely to be lost this week for you. The thing is, with all these brilliant ideas coming in, the reason why you may feel that sense of I need to secure this is because you're looking at every option. So if you're like a strategist or a logistics person, or you work in risk assessment, or a job where you really do have to look at every potential possibility, then Libra, this is your week where you have that whole picture. Scorpio, for you the romance angels are really singing in your ear, and you're also incredibly decisive and on the ball in the more mundane areas of your life. So your daily routine, the grocery shopping, what needs doing. You'll be able to clear all those things very quickly, giving you the time to explore the sweet side of life. So, existing relationships will be amazing. You'll enjoy going to the art gallery. You'll like to listen to music. You'll enjoy meeting new people. You're likely to have a wonderful week in terms of that, that ethereal creative quality. Sagittarius, you may become very aware of what is missing in your life this week, prompting you to go on a new adventure and to leave it all behind. So even though that may sound a little reckless and irresponsible, you guys, Sagittarius, when you follow that kind of wanderlust, adventurer sense, your ruler is Jupiter. And you guys don't need to plan out every little detail because you're naturally lucky. You really are. Like for you guys, when you have momentum, you activate the good luck of your ruler, and things that weren't planned happen to you spontaneously. So a lot of times, Sagittarius is really unique because they don't have to plan things out. They just go, and it turns out much better than it would for anyone else. And this week particularly, if you're looking for love or the right job or an amazing place to live, you're gonna find it. So please go on the hunt and fill that gap. Capricorn, you may find that you are absolutely certain this week. No doubt whatsoever. And that's good for you to make decisions and to move forward, but it can come across as a little grating to other people. So they may think you're a little arrogant because you're just so confident. Sometimes people misinterpret social anxiety for the person being snooty. It's that kind of thing. You're so certain and so decisive, and you can take such great action that other people may misinterpret that as you being a little full of yourself. So watch out for conflict there. Use your certainty to tackle the most difficult and nerve-wracking things in your life that you do have control over. You have nerves of steel this week, so anything that usually scares you half into the ground, face that. You're not gonna bat an eye. You're so strong this week. Aquarius, you may have an unusual sense of really being rich. You may have a sense that money is not important whatsoever. You may take on this mentality which says, oh, I can always make more, so it's okay if I max out the credit card today, right? So that mentality obviously may prompt you to overspend this week. If you have, for instance, very specifically a habit of shopping late at night online, then be really careful. I don't know if you guys remember Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, the actress in the original Star Wars. She became an author, and I was a huge fan of Carrie Fisher, I still am. And she had a mood disorder, and she described it as having two moods. One mood was the meal at the restaurant. Hooray, I'm eating, it's fun, right? And the other mood was the bill, the check. not so fun. And this week, you guys, Aquarius, you're really in the meal mode and you're not so interested in the bill. So try and see both just to keep a little bit of balance going, okay? Pisces, you intuitively understand how you can take your hobbies and passions and turn them into money-making enterprises this week. If you're a Pisces who is anything less than delighted with your current work situation, your career, make this the main area of focus and you'll have things that occur to you. And I know, again, it's a really big statement, but you'll have ideas that will allow you to exit the rat race and to do your own thing. So if you're a Pisces who wants to make themselves self-employed, this is fabulous for you. If you're already in a great work position, as in you've got the perfect job, you love getting up and doing your job every day, then you'll find that things go really smoothly and as planned with little delay and almost no interruption. So you're gonna have a really smooth week when it comes to work and career, regardless of what situation you're in with that. Okay guys, so I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with this week. I hope you've been able to hear me. I'm sorry if I chose badly, but I just wanted to have this in the back. So let me know, because if the sound is good, then I can film here again, and that would be nice. So I hope you have a fabulous week. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. When you get to the website, scroll down a bit, there's a big yellow button that says book your reading. Click on that if you do want to speak to me and if you want me to look at your birth chart and analyze it. All I need is your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then there's a process called chart rectification. It's really great because the more accurate the time, the more accurate the birth chart. And all I need is 10 significant life events. So not just like, you know, I went to school at age 5 or I graduated college at like whenever. It's more like, you know, I was dumped when I was 22 and that really had an effect on me. Like things that are really significant. So I need 10 or more of those, and then I can work out your time of birth. And then once I have your chart in front of me, I analyze that the way I do analyze the chart in the videos for the new moons and the full moons. But instead of this astrological event, I'm analyzing your moment of birth. And the thinking is, the way the planets were aligned at the moment of your birth has a really significant impact on you as a person, your personality. So it's not just genes and genetics, it's also what the environment was like when you came into this planet. And I am always gobsmacked at how accurate it is. I love my job so much. I think I'm a little over the top today. I'm sorry if I'm going off the deep end here. But if you'd like me to look at your chart, then please do get in touch. And I also look at the progress chart and the transits, which shows me what's coming up in future. So the prediction part of the astrology, what's likely to come up. And then astrocartography reverses that process. So instead of being on Earth looking up, like it is for your natal chart and your progress and transit, it's reversed. And I position myself in the sky and I look at how the planets were moving over this planet. And that then shows me how certain places are going to influence you. So Berlin, Copenhagen, New York, Singapore, Sao Paulo, whatever. How those are going to influence you specifically based on the fixed position of your natal chart. It's fixed, it doesn't change. So that's why it's really good to get an idea if you're like moving. You know, like I just moved and I looked at my astrocartography because for me, this place has Venus going through it, love beauty, and my great conjunction. When I was born in 81, Saturn and Jupiter, they sat together. They do that every 20 years. So if you're born in 61 or 2001 or 2021, and even sometimes the zeros before it, you'll have a great conjunction in your chart, which is a great placement. And that also rules this place where I'm at. And I'm already having the best time, so it works for me. Yeah. All right, guys, so have a great week. And I will check out my daily tarot reading. Yeah, and I just want to... I do a daily tarot reading every day. A daily tarot reading every day. And become a member of my channel and you can watch those. So I still do them. Please do consider becoming a member to watch that daily tarot reading, which I love to do. And I also do those videos on the new moons and full moons and these weekly horoscopes. So check out some of my other videos if you like this. And I will speak to you soon. All the best. Take care.